Senior developers are a luxury the industry cannot afford anymore. That is not a prediction. That is what the benchmarks are screaming right now, and nobody with a staff title wants to hear it. Here is the villain in this story. It is not Google. It is not AI itself. It is the hiring industrial complex, the recruiters, the HR departments, the job boards that still treat years of experience as a proxy for competence. They built an entire economy around the idea that a developer who has been writing code for 15 years is inherently more valuable than one who has been writing code for 2. That assumption just got obliterated. Google released Gemini 2.5 Pro in late May 2025, and the SWE-bench Verified results are brutal. It scored 63.8% on real-world software engineering tasks, multi-file changes, debugging across complex codebases, architectural decisions that used to be the exclusive territory of someone with a decade of scar tissue. A junior developer who understands how to construct an agentic loop. With Gemini 2.5, as the inference backbone can now ship the kind of work that used to require a principal engineer and a whiteboard session. Let me give you 3 points of proof. First, inference-time compute has replaced pattern recognition. The entire value proposition of a senior developer was that they had seen enough failure modes to recognize patterns faster. They knew which database schema would fall apart at scale. They knew which microservice boundary would create latency nightmares. But Gemini 2.5 Pro and Claude 3.5 Sonnet are now reasoning through these exact trade-offs at inference time. The model does not need 10 years. It needs 10 seconds and a well-structured prompt with the right context window. The pattern library that took you a career to build now ships as weights in a checkpoint file. Second, RAG pipelines are killing institutional knowledge advantages. Senior engineers were valuable because they knew the codebase. They had the tribal knowledge. They remembered why that weird service existed and what broke last time someone touched it. But a properly indexed RAG system over your repository, your documentation, your incident reports, that retrieval layer gives any developer instant access to the same institutional memory. The advantage of having been there is evaporating. A junior dev with a cursor workspace connected to a vector store of your entire engineering history is operating with the same context a 10-year veteran carries in their head. Third, autonomous coding agents are compressing sprint velocity. Cognition's Devin, OpenAI's Codex agent, and Google's own Jules are not toys anymore. They handle boilerplate, write tests, refactor modules, and iterate based on CI feedback. The senior developer used to be the person who could hold an entire feature in their head and ship it across multiple files in a single sprint. That cognitive load is now distributed across an agentic pipeline. The human role is shifting from writing the code to orchestrating the agents and validating the outputs. If this is the kind of analysis that the industry needs to hear but refuses to say out loud, subscribe. We are saying it every week and we are not slowing down. Now here is the counterargument, and I will be honest, it is the strongest one. Someone will say that senior developers do not just write code. They mentor. They make architectural decisions at the organizational level. They navigate politics, prioritize ruthlessly, and prevent junior engineers from shipping disasters. That is fair, but here is the problem with that defense. You just described a manager, not a senior developer. If the only remaining value of seniority is leadership and judgment, then the title should reflect that. Calling someone a senior software engineer and then justifying their salary because they are good at meetings is an admission that the engineering part of the title has been hollowed out. The technical execution gap between junior and senior is collapsing in real time. What remains is organizational skill, which has nothing to do with years of writing code. So here is where we land. The industry is sleepwalking into a correction. Companies are still posting job listings demanding 8+ years of experience for roles that a sharp engineer with 2 years and the right AI toolchain can fill. That mismatch is going to explode. Salaries pegged to tenure instead of output are going to get rationalized. And a generation of senior developers who refuse to integrate AI into their workflow are going to find themselves outperformed by people half their age with half their experience. The metric is dead. Output is the only thing that matters now. So tell me, are senior developers still earning their title, or are they just coasting on a hiring system that has not caught up yet?